The Delhi High Court recently issued a noteworthy judgment on May 22, 2025. It addressed Section 377 of the Indian Penal Code, clarifying its application within marital relationships. The ruling stated a husband cannot be prosecuted for engaging in anal or oral sex with his wife if there is implied consent. Justice Swarana Kanta Sharma delivered this significant verdict. The case involved allegations from a wife accusing her husband of certain acts during their honeymoon. She claimed he engaged in oral sex and failed to consummate the marriage. The husband challenged the charges, leading the matter to the High Court. Section 377 traditionally criminalizes unnatural offenses, defined as carnal intercourse against the order of nature. The High Court's ruling provides a nuanced interpretation, limiting the section's applicability within a marriage when acts are consensual. Initially, a trial court had framed charges against the husband under Section 377 IPC. The husband contested this decision, arguing no prima facie case was made out. The Delhi High Court examined this contention and set aside the trial court's order. This decision to quash the charges is central to the case. It highlights differing interpretations of law at different judicial levels. The ruling distinguishes between consensual acts within marriage and other scenarios. This distinction is vital for understanding the ruling's scope. The judgment emphasizes the importance of consent within marital relationships. It underscores that consensual acts within marriage should not be criminalized. The High Court's decision reflects a progressive interpretation of Section 377. It aligns with evolving legal standards on marital consent and sexual autonomy. The High Court's judgment rested heavily on the concept of implied consent within marriage. The law presumes consent for sexual intercourse between spouses, including acts like anal or oral sex. This presumption is not absolute but forms a baseline for legal interpretation. The court referred to Exception 2 to Section 375 of the IPC, which defines rape. Exception 2 states that sexual intercourse by a man with his wife is not rape, provided she is not below a certain age. The High Court extended this logic to acts under Section 377. It implies that certain intimate acts are considered part of expected interactions within marriage. This presumption holds unless there is explicit evidence to the contrary. The absence of an explicit denial of consent becomes significant. The court emphasized its application within the marital context. This does not grant a license for non-consensual acts, but shifts the evidentiary burden. Proving a lack of consent becomes crucial in such cases. The allegation must clearly state that the act was non-consensual. The ruling differentiates marital intimacy from other interactions. It underscores the importance of consent within the marital framework. The Delhi High Court's reasoning drew upon the landmark Supreme Court judgment in Navtej Singh Johar v. Union of India. In 2018, the Supreme Court decriminalized consensual homosexual acts by reading down Section 377 IPC. This judgment affirmed the privacy and autonomy of consenting adults in their sexual choices. The High Court noted that consensual acts between adults in private are not criminal. This principle was foundational to the Supreme Court's decision. The High Court applied this understanding to the marital sphere, focusing on consent. If Section 377 no longer criminalizes such acts between any two consenting adults, its application to married couples required clarification. The court reasoned that it should not criminalize these acts between a husband and wife if they are consensual. The Navtej Singh Johar judgment emphasized individual autonomy and the right to privacy in intimate matters. The Delhi High Court's ruling extends these principles to sexual acts within marriage. It underscores that even within marriage, consent is key, but its expression or presumption might differ. The ruling aligns with constitutional values of privacy and autonomy. It reflects a progressive interpretation of marital consent. The High Court meticulously examined the wife's allegations. She accused her husband of performing oral sex during their honeymoon and failing to consummate the marriage. She also alleged that he was impotent. The court identified significant contradictions within these allegations. The claim of impotence was juxtaposed with the allegation of oral sex, creating an inherent contradiction. Such inconsistencies can weaken the credibility of a complaint. The wife did not specifically allege that the act of oral sex was non-consensual. For an offence under Section 377, the absence of consent is critical. The High Court found this essential element missing from the wife's primary complaint. The case also involved other accusations within the family, including allegations against the father-in-law and brother-in-law. The trial court had previously discharged these other accused individuals. The wife also alleged a conspiracy by the husband's family to extort money from her family. These broader allegations provided context to the marital dispute. They painted a picture of a complex and acrimonious situation. The High Court's decision considered these inconsistencies and omissions in its assessment. The trial court had initially decided to frame charges against the husband under Section 377 of the IPC. The husband challenged this order, bringing the matter before the Delhi High Court. The High Court found the trial court's order unsustainable in law. It concluded that no prima facie case was made out against the husband. The evidence and allegations did not meet the necessary legal threshold. To frame a charge, there must be sufficient grounds to proceed with a trial. The High Court found these grounds lacking. The court emphasized the missing ingredient of non-consent. For an act to constitute an offense under Section 377 within a marriage, the lack of consent must be clearly established, or at least alleged. The wife's complaint did not explicitly state that the oral sex was non-consensual. Without this vital component, the charge under Section 377 could not be upheld. The High Court's decision reflects a specific standard for allegations within marriage. This ruling by the Delhi High Court carries significant legal implications. It provides clarity on Section 377 IPC within marital relationships. The judgment underscores the necessity for explicit allegations of non-consent. It intersects with discussions about consent and marital expectations. Different segments of society may interpret the ruling in various ways. The ruling will likely stimulate further discussion on legal reforms.